So welcome to this tutorial, and we're going to be using these Unity starter assets. We're going to use the HK foot placement package in order to make this foot placement. Currently it doesn't. In the default starter assets you don't have any foot placement system, so we're going to begin by adding the HK foot placement script. And you can see I just designed a terrain. It just has some small humps or hills, you can say, with some textures. So now I know the ground in this scene is all default, so I'm just going to set that to default. Make sure you have IK path enabled on your animated layer. Now on the player armature you can see that the foot is in place correctly. And now why does this happen? Because if you look at the pivots, rotations, and the forward, left foot has it completely odd, and you can see how the forward's pointing back and the vector 3 up is below, but the right foot is different. So that's why we created this left foot rotation offset and the right foot rotation offset, so that any character you get, you can always modify those offsets to get to perfection. So here you can see the left foot is not well. Now I know this character will work with -180 on the X. You can see how the left foot just became perfectly okay. -180 meaning it just rotated on the X-axis full. And you can see the difference is still there. The Y-axis also needs to be modified. So I already know this character needs -5 on both, and now there's almost no difference between these two rotations. Of course the positioning is different because the inverse climatic system is placing them on the ground. Now if we move around with the starter assets movement system, one more thing to note is this starter assets actually has the animator with the character controller and the third-person controller. So the demo that we have provided in the Hamza Khan folder in the scenes, it's different. It actually has the animator on the player model. So here we can see that the player armature is directly controlling everything, and it doesn't matter if it's used for that. So now you can just paste in those values. The thing is that the HK foot placement relies on the animator, so you must have an animated component on whichever game object is your player model, and you must have the script as well, the HK foot placement. Now let's just implement it into the third person. So we're gonna write using, which I just missed out anyway, and then we create a variable up there, as you can see. Now we just need to do a pretty simple thing. In every update we're gonna set foot placement.shouldDoIK. So this is a variable which is public, it's exposed, and shouldDoIK to grounded. So ground is gonna be false because when we are in the air, that would mean that shouldDoIK should not actually be true, and that's exactly what we want, because if our character would be jumping, it would not give a good it would just cause the hips to try and reach out to the ground, and that would not do good. So now we just need to drag the reference into the third-person controller, and if we hit the play button again, you can see that odd thing also that happens. The feet start by coming to the center and then going into the IK positions. Just fix that a bit. So you can see jumping is now same as the previous time. So you can see the difference by simply disabling and enable feet IK. You can see. So it's, I think, exactly the same. Not much difference. Now, as always, we should be able to jump on this object. Oh god, no, it's not. It's not. Okay. Now jump, run, and we can do the exact same thing that we always do with these starter assets. And you can fall down. The thing is, now you have IK foot placement. So on this slope, small one, this is a little bit tilted. You can see the feet are positioning perfect. And right now, if I just jump and climb on this thing, you'll see how it's placing as well. Now the problem with stairs is that the Unity starter assets actually made them like slopes, or they gave the mesh as a slope, not a stairs. Now let's just first fix those feet issue, and that's what we have given. That's why we've given this left foot position and right foot position thing. But before we do that, let me just fix this thing. So firstly, you need to you can see it's all slanted, so they're made like a slope. You can disable convex. Well, it still didn't fix it, so I think the mesh needs to be changed. So you can see how Unity actually created a mesh for themselves to have a slope, but we can change that to the original mesh, which is named something else. Yeah, there it is. Now our character can place it properly on the stairs as well. Otherwise it was placing it on a slope, which was not looking nice. You can see how this is the original mesh. We're going to do the same thing for the other two stairs in the starter assets playground. You can see it's got the COL, which is for a slope type of thing anyway. You assign the correct one, you can see it's different, and we can see this one here, the final last one. We just need to give it the correct mesh again, and the mesh collider. You can drag it in there. So that's it really. Now I will do Command S or Control S and save the project. So just do Option Starter Assets left arrow key, or Alt if you're not Windows. So you can just close that. If you look at this script, we've got these four new variables. They're all vector 3s, and that's what we are currently having an issue on. The feet start by coming in the center, which is not so good. And just to prevent that, we're gonna just go and so you can see this is the idle animation. You can hit pause, and we're gonna copy the component values, stop, and we're gonna paste in the component values. Yes. So before it was copy component, then paste component values. So you can see that all of that is filled up now, and we can save again. Hitting play now, you'll see it will snap into the idle animations left foot and right foot, so that looks more better, right? It won't start with going into vector 3.0. Now if we come near the stairs, you can see it's adjusting the feet. I can climb up more realistically, going down and up both ways. And you will never actually have as issue like before. It would look like the feet is like dragging, or you know, it's going through objects when walking on stairs, or it's going on the air in the air. So that's what this IK system is supposed to fix. And you can see if I jump, we have a nice jump effect as well. There is no issues with that. So now let's just make our player run on terrains. You can see it's kind of like an adaptive foot placement, you could say. So it actually gets the animation and then simply adds what the surface is currently underneath the foot. And that's like at a high level what it does. And it also smooths the up and down feet positioning, and that's why we have a feet speed as well. Now let's just climb. I made terrain like this, so we're climbing up, and you can see that our player actually has this funny thing as well, that the feet can actually go down and it's actually standing up, but that's okay. So I can run on any terrain, any surface, and the IK system is going to adjust the body positioning, feet positioning to make it look real. You can actually enable and disable feet IK yourself for looking at the difference. But anyway, let's just go and check out the demo we've provided. You can also see the pelvis offset thing, so maybe if you want him to maybe your body positioning is different in the model pivots, you know, other models may have different pivots, so they might need this offset to be modified. But for now, we're gonna keep it 0. Let's get out of play mode, and yes, we have the script perfectly fine. I just got these errors because of some loading failure on the editor, but that doesn't even matter. Let's go into the Hamza Khan folder, which you will receive when you import the package. In the demo, in the scene folder, you have the demo scene. And if you look at this system, so the player has the player script and a character controller, and the player armature actually has the foot placement script because it actually holds the animator. So I had to give the foot placement an animator, which means the player armature needs to have the HK foot placement script, and of course it's set up exactly the same. And you must make sure to enable IK pass as well on the animator's layers, which you want IK to work actually. So you can see how nice it looks, way better than what it used to look before IK system. So that's really how you set it up on the starter assets, and that's how you'll set it up on any other thing.